Hey, Triple Fivers. I am sitting in front of the coffee shop I was hoping to go into to make a video, and well, unfortunately it's closed, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I've been trying to just make more spontaneous content when I've got something to say, and well, anyway, I'm not going to let this hold me back. Let's just go ahead and proceed with the video and see how it goes. I'm sitting in my car, and what I want to talk about today is the reason why I keep watches as a collector. And in particular, I have one main reason that I end up keeping watches, and one thing more than anything else that motivates me as a collector. So what I thought I would do in this video is just show you some of the watches that I have in my collection that are keepers, and talk about why I have them as permanent keepers in the collection. And also I want to introduce a new watch that you'll be seeing a review and some other commentary for. And I actually have a watch to give away as well, and I'll be talking about that at the end of the video. So let's keep going, I guess. So what I have here is my watch roll. This is got a few watches in it, but before I talk about what's in there, I just want to show you this is a watch that I've briefly featured on the channel before. This is my Rolex Air King. I acquired it about a year ago. 1400 series Air King. I had quite a, I don't know if debacle is the right word, but quite an ordeal getting it serviced. I had to get serviced twice before it was running the way that it should be, and it's back and it's running well. And I guess we can start with just talking about Rolex for a little bit. I did not buy this watch, and it's not a watch that I'm collecting because Rolex is going to go up in value. I did not buy this watch so that it's an investment piece. That is definitely a motivation for some people, especially with this brand. But the reason why I bought this watch is because it was commemorating something. It was commemorating the first job that I got that I really felt like, okay, this is a job where I have made it professionally. I don't talk a lot about work here because it's in education, and I need to just keep my personal interests and my educational endeavors sort of separate. But I'm the headmaster of a private school, and I needed a watch that's just really simple and reliable and discreet and would go with a lot of formal outfits. I really enjoyed my previous Rolex Air King that I owned a number of years ago, but I wasn't in a situation to be wearing a small dressy watch like this at the time, and so I sold it. And anyway, I'm really glad to have this watch back. And anyway, so the first watch I'm showing you is a new one. I'll be talking more about the servicing story behind it, and maybe a little bit more about what I really like about it, and some of the obvious and maybe not so obvious things that I don't like about it. But anyway, so I didn't buy and I didn't keep this watch because of the monetary gain that I could potentially be gaining from it. That's just not a motivating factor for me, and it's not the reason why I collect. Let's take a look at a couple other watches in here. And there are ones that you've seen before here on the channel, but if you're new here, or if you haven't had a chance to watch the videos in a while, I think you might appreciate the reminders. Go back a little bit further. Whoops, I'll show you that watch later. This is my Hamilton Khaki mechanical, and those of you who have been here know that I've had this watch for quite a while in my collection. I'm going to just wipe the crystal off real quick because it's got some fingerprints on it. I got this watch when I got my master's degree in philosophy, and it was really a watch that spoke to me because I really was just those were years where I had my nose to the grind big time. A lot of writing, a lot of research, a lot of hard work. I was considering becoming a professor in those days. I'm glad I didn't go into academia at the collegiate level at this point, just the way the market's gone. But I needed a watch that was kind of as hardworking as I was in those days, that doesn't sound too pretentious. And it's totally proven to be a very sound choice. I haven't tired of the design of the watch, the mechanical movement in there has been reliable. I've only had to have it serviced once. And as you can see, it's thin and very comfortable. I've got it on this beautiful Horween strap. And this is just another piece that is a keeper for me because it commemorated something. It commemorated an important accomplishment in my life that I'm still very proud of. Okay, so lastly, the other watch I wanted to show you is one that, again, you've seen, but, I wanted to highlight and emphasize a point here. This is my Omega Constellation, and this is a watch, a little bit different backstory here, actually. So the interesting story about this watch is that this was a watch that was sort of a gift, actually. The story about this watch that's special to me is that this watch was actually worn by the priest who married me and my wife. And he's a good priest, good man. I think that he didn't have any exceptionally sentimental attachments to this watch. He had it forever. I think he was the original owner of this. I'm not sure. But it quit working for him. And he's not a materialistic guy. He didn't want to even get it fixed. So what I did is I actually traded him a fully functioning watch. I think it was a Citizen Eco Dry dress watch for this watch. And he was happy to make the trade. And I was happy because the watch that I was wearing on my wrist that day was a dress watch, a Bulova dress watch. But this watch is definitely, from a watch aficionado standpoint, a much more special watch. And so I'm proud to have it in my collection because I get to be the steward of this beautiful timepiece now that has a lot of personal value to me too. And obviously commemorating the best day of my life, the day I got married. Having a watch like that in my collection is really, really special and something I'm very proud of. So I don't buy watches because they're vintage or because they're modern. I don't buy watches because there's a certain brand that I have loyalty to. I don't buy watches because they have monetary value necessarily. I don't think this watch will ever become super desirable or sought after. If a watch like this becomes desirable or sought after, I'm not going to sweat it. I just intend to keep it. I buy watches because I am trying to live a meaningful life, and these things help me be mindful of the good things that often are the fruit of hard work and sometimes just feel like a gratuitous gift. And I think that that's a way to live and a reason to collect watches that's, worth sharing with you, I hope. So I hope you enjoyed that perspective. I also want to end the video just letting you know that my Spinnaker watch misadventures maybe are continuing. They sent me this watch, which is the Spinnaker Croft, a different model than the Flus, which I had previously received in the mail to review. But I didn't want this watch. I want to review the Flus, which is the original watch I got. I'm not a big fan of this design personally, but maybe you are. And so I'm giving this watch away on my Patreon. I'm trying to build my audience there. I've really enjoyed my interactions with that audience. I think it's going to give me a chance to be a little bit more open and have a little bit more kind of real interactions with a core audience. And so if you'd like to win this watch, please do just go check out my Patreon. And even if it's just for a month, consider it an opportunity to win it if you're interested. I do intend to do more giveaways there, when I have a surplus of gear or when I have something like this come up where I'm not necessarily going to want to keep it and I'm not necessarily going to resell it. So, this is really an invitation for sort of what I think of as my 555 gear super subs, the people that are really into the channel and want to find new ways to support me. Well, I'll try kicking back a little bit. Let's start by giving away a watch. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that perspective piece and checking out a few of the watches that I have with me. I was hoping to make something a little prettier. I've got got my tripod and all my other gear here. I was going to do that on a digital SLR, but I'm going to try doing it here on my phone. See if this video turns out. I've got my live mic hooked up. Hopefully it caught the audio. If it did, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I appreciate your thumbs up and your like. Hit that bell, I guess. That's important for my videos to be working properly with your analytics. I'm not always the most preoccupied with the optimization stuff here on YouTube these days. It's hard to keep track of it all, but I appreciate you taking the time to not only watch this video, but support the channel in whatever way you see most fit. Okay, thanks a lot, and take care.